Florida may look like paradise, but its housing market is under extreme strain. This is not a sudden market crash. It is something slower, quieter, and far more dangerous. Foreclosures across Florida are climbing rapidly, even though unemployment remains low and lending standards never collapsed. County clerk records and ATM data show foreclosure activity rising more than 20% year over year, with several Florida metros operating far above national averages. The cause is not reckless borrowing. It is the simultaneous surge in insurance premiums, property taxes, and HOA fees, costs rising together and overwhelming household budgets that once worked. In this investigation, we break down the Florida cities experiencing the highest foreclosure pressure, explain how the numbers stopped adding up, and reveal why income alone no longer guarantees housing security. We begin with city number 10. Number 10, Kissimmee. Kissimmee stretches along Highway 192, where billboards advertise Disney magic and affordable vacation rentals compete beneath the Florida sun. Behind the tourism-driven image, homeowners are facing a growing foreclosure wave, fueled by relentless insurance renewals and rising tax assessments. Foreclosure filings rose 34% over the past year, with 1 in every 487 housing units receiving a filing in Q3 2024. That rate is 2.8 times higher than Florida's already elevated average. Median home prices reached $385,000, while median household income remains at $58,400, an equation that collapses when costs rise faster than wages. Annual insurance premiums jumped from $2,100 in 2020 to $6,800 in 24, a 224% increase that added $390 per month. Property taxes surged 41%, adding another $215 monthly. Total housing costs climbed beyond $2,800 per month, consuming 58% of gross income for typical families. Migration data shows residents relocating to Georgia and Tennessee, where similar homes cost $125,000 less, and insurance averages $3,200 annually. Teachers earning $68,000 combined had to choose between full insurance coverage and retirement savings. Medical professionals making $95,000 struggled with combined insurance, tax, and HOA increases totaling $9,600 annually. Service workers faced foreclosure when insurance alone consumed 18% of gross income. If a tourism economy cannot protect homeowners, the crisis worsens for retirees. Number 9. Lakeland. Lakeland sits between Tampa and Orlando, where warehouse and logistics jobs promise steady employment. Foreclosure filings increased 38% in 12 months, with 1 in every 445 homes affected in Q3 2024, 2.9 times the national average. Median home prices reached $342,000, while median income remained $54,200. Insurance premiums rose from $1,900 to $5,600 annually. Property taxes jumped 44%, adding $195 monthly, while HOA fees averaged $185. Total housing costs reached $420 monthly, consuming 54% of gross income. Supervisors earning $62,000 and logistics coordinators earning $58,000 found housing consuming up to 67% of net income. Families moved to Georgia and Tennessee, where jobs paid similarly, but housing costs were dramatically lower. One unexpected $1,200 expense often triggered foreclosure. Number 8. Port St. Lucie. Port St. Lucie expanded across former ranchland, offering golf communities and waterfront developments marketed as affordable retirement havens. Retirees expected predictable budgets, but Florida's insurance crisis turned stability into financial quicksand. Foreclosure filings rose 41% year over year, with 1 in every 412 housing units receiving notices in Q3 2024, 3.2 times the national average. Median home values climbed to $398,500, while median income sits at $62,800. Retirees living on $48,000 annually watched insurance premiums jump from $2,400 to $7,200, adding $400 monthly. Property taxes increased 38%, adding $185 per month, while HOA fees rose 22%, adding $75. The combined $660 increase consumed 17% of fixed income. Retirees relocated to North Carolina and Georgia, where insurance and taxes were dramatically lower. Couples with paid-off homes still faced $950 per month in insurance, taxes, HOA, and maintenance, leaving limited funds for medical and living expenses. But retirees at least chose Florida knowingly. Working families in the next city were blindsided. Number 7. Palm Bay. Palm Bay on the Space Coast promised affordable living near aerospace jobs. Foreclosure filings rose 39% year-over-year, with 1 in every 428 homes receiving notices in Q3 2024, 3 times the national average. Median home prices reached $348,000, while median income stood at $59,800. Insurance premiums surged from $2,000 to $6,600 annually, adding $383 monthly. Property taxes rose 37%, adding $190. Aerospace contractors earning $74,000 faced housing costs consuming 40% of gross income. Workers relocated to Huntsville, Georgia, and Texas, where aerospace jobs paid comparably, but housing and insurance costs were far lower. Even specialized careers could not offset coastal insurance math. Number 6. Cape Coral. Cape Coral's post-Hurricane Ian rebuilding promised resilience, but foreclosure filings surged 47% year-over-year, with 1 in every 398 homes affected in Q3 2024, 3.4 times the national average. Median home prices reached $425,000, while median income stood at $67,300. Insurance premiums exploded from $2,600 to $9,200 annually, adding $550 monthly, with 5% hurricane deductibles exceeding $21,000. Property taxes rose 36%, adding $220 monthly. Total housing costs exceeded $3,200. Even households earning over $15,000 faced housing consuming over 40% of income. Families relocated inland or to Georgia. Nurses and teachers with solid incomes still faced foreclosure risk. When the next storm arrived, homeowners realized they were effectively self-insured for most damage. Number 5. Deltona. Deltona was marketed as an affordable alternative near Orlando. Foreclosure filings surged 52% year-over-year, with 1 in every 384 homes affected, 3.6 times the national average. Median home prices reached $335,000, while median income stood at $51,800. Insurance premiums jumped from $1,800 to $6,200 annually. Police officers, retail managers, and construction workers all faced housing consuming roughly half of gross income. Families who refinanced to eliminate PMI saw insurance increases wipe out savings. Multi-generational households earning $95,000 still couldn't absorb $14,400 in combined cost increases across 2 properties. Georgia and Tennessee offered homes and insurance costs dramatically lower. Number 4. Tampa. Tampa's professional economy did not protect homeowners. Foreclosure filings rose 49% year-over-year, with 1 in every 392 homes affected, 3.5 times the national average. Median home prices reached $420,000, while median income stood at $71,200. Families earning $115,000 still faced housing costs of $3,850 monthly. Nurses, analysts, and marketing professionals all faced severe pressure. Dual-income households struggled once childcare and student loans entered the equation. Entrepreneurs faced extreme vulnerability when fixed housing costs collided with variable income. Tampa proved professional salaries were not enough. Number 3. Jacksonville. Jacksonville hosts one of the nation's largest military populations. Foreclosure filings rose 43% year-over-year, with 1 in every 421 homes affected, 3.1 times the national average. Median home prices reached $358,000. Military BH rates of $2,100 failed to keep pace with housing costs that climbed to $2,680 monthly after insurance, taxes, and HOA fees surged. Service members had to subsidize housing from base pay. Deployments worsened vulnerability when spouses faced sudden insurance renewals or assessments alone. Even E7 households earning $72,000 faced impossible math. Civilian workers experienced the same pressures without BAH support. Military families transferred to Virginia, North Carolina, and California, where housing costs aligned better with allowances. Number 2. Orlando. Orlando experienced the most dramatic acceleration. Foreclosure filings surged 56% year-over-year, with 1 in every 371 homes affected, 3.8 times the national average. Median home prices reached $395,000, while median income stood at $66,400. Theme park workers faced housing consuming 77% of income. Insurance premiums jumped from $2,200 to $7,600 annually. Property taxes rose 42% and HOA fees climbed 24%. Even healthcare administrators and engineers faced foreclosure risk. Orlando's tourism-based economy left families with few local alternatives. Number 1. Miami. Miami represents the peak of Florida's foreclosure crisis. Filings surged 61% year over year, with 1 in every 348 homes affected, 4.1 times the national average. Median home prices reached $565,000, while median income stood at $79,300. Insurance premiums soared from $3,400 to $11,800 annually, with flood insurance adding $2,400 more. Total insurance alone exceeded $14,000 annually. Even households earning $125,000 faced housing consuming over 40% of income. Retirees with paid-off homes still faced nearly $2,200 monthly in insurance and taxes. Sea level rise, hurricane risk, and insurance withdrawal trapped equity and destroyed generational wealth. Across all 10 metros, foreclosure filings rose between 34% and 61%, with rates 2.8 to 4.1 times national averages. Insurance increased 220% to 250%. Property taxes rose 36 to 44%. HOA fees climbed 18 to 24%. Incomes grew only 8 to 12%. Foreclosure risk now spans every income level. Families are relocating to Georgia, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina, and Alabama, not out of poverty, but because Florida's math no longer works. This is not a temporary disruption. It is a structural affordability collapse driven by insurance, climate risk, and costs severed from income reality. Florida's foreclosure wave reveals how quickly the American dream turns into a financial crisis when these forces converge. Subscribe to our channel for investigations others won't show, and share your Florida foreclosure experience in the comments below.